Hello, and welcome back to Lady Mistletoe. If you believe Apple TV is only worth subscribing to because of its television shows, there is a whole side of the platform you may be overlooking. Apple TV has a surprisingly strong selection of science fiction movies, and many of them have received far less attention than they deserve. From time travel and artificial intelligence to parallel worlds and futuristic ideas, these movies show that great science fiction does not always need a huge budget. An interesting story and memorable characters are enough to make a film stand out. So, let's count down the list. Number 7, Antimatter. Antimatter is a low-budget science fiction thriller centered on Anna, a highly intelligent student who manages to accomplish something that sounds almost impossible. With the help of her research partners, she develops a machine capable of teleporting a human being from one place to another. Anna decides to become the first person to test the device on herself. However, when the experiment is over, something is seriously wrong. She wakes up with major gaps in her memory and has no clear explanation for what happened to her. As she tries to understand what went wrong, the difference between scientific discovery and reality becomes harder and harder to recognize. One of the most interesting things about Antimatter is that it does not depend on expensive effects or huge action sequences. Instead, the movie puts most of its attention on its central idea, its mystery, and the psychological tension surrounding Anna. The writing gives viewers plenty to think about, especially if you enjoy science fiction stories where you have to pay attention and slowly piece together what is happening. The movie's small budget can sometimes be noticeable, and the non-linear storytelling may require you to stay focused. However, the basic concept is fascinating, and the filmmakers do a lot with the resources they had. For viewers who enjoy independent science fiction and stories built around unusual ideas, Antimatter is an overlooked film that deserves more attention. Number 6, Redux Redux. Redux Redux is an independent science fiction thriller that takes the idea of the multiverse and gives it a much darker and more personal direction. The story follows Irene Kelly, a mother who is devastated after her teenage daughter is murdered. Eventually, Irene discovers a way to move between parallel universes. That discovery changes everything. Irene begins to believe that somewhere among these different realities, there may be a version of the world where her daughter is still alive. But instead of simply searching for another chance at happiness, Irene becomes determined to find the man responsible for her daughter's death. She begins traveling between realities and hunting down different versions of the same person. What makes Redux Redux interesting is that the multiverse is not simply there to create bigger action scenes or complicated science fiction moments. The movie uses the idea to explore grief, anger, trauma, and the way a person can become consumed by the desire for revenge. The story does not spend too much time explaining complicated scientific rules. Instead, it keeps the focus on Irene and the emotional consequences of what she is doing. There are still a few questions about the world and its rules that the movie does not completely answer. However, the McManus brothers create a tense and emotional thriller that shows how much can be accomplished without the kind of budget normally associated with science fiction. Redux Redux is a good example of a movie proving that an original idea can be just as important as expensive production values. Number 5, After Yang. After Yang is a quiet and thoughtful science fiction drama directed by Kaganata. Rather than relying on explosions, futuristic battles, or large action sequences, the film takes a much more personal approach to the genre. The story follows Jake, a father whose family depends heavily on Yang, an artificial intelligence companion who has become an important part of their everyday life. Then, without warning, Yang stops working. Jake wants to find a way to repair him, but while investigating Yang's stored memories, he discovers something he never expected. These memories contain small moments from Yang's life that Jake had never seen before. As Jake continues exploring them, his understanding of Yang begins to change. At the same time, he starts looking at his own family, his relationships, and his understanding of love and identity in a different way. After Yang does not use science fiction simply as an excuse to show futuristic technology. Instead, it uses the idea of an artificial intelligence companion to ask much more personal questions. What makes someone human? How important are memories? What do we really know about the people we love? And how much of a person's identity remains after they are gone? The movie moves at a slower pace, so viewers expecting a traditional science fiction adventure may find it too quiet. But for those who enjoy character-focused stories, After Yang has plenty to offer. Kaganada's direction keeps the film simple and controlled, allowing the emotions to take center stage. What begins as a story about repairing an AI companion gradually becomes a moving exploration of family, memory, love, and loss. Number 4, Marjorie Prime. Marjorie Prime presents a fascinating idea about the future of artificial intelligence. Imagine a world where advanced holographic AI could recreate the appearance and personality of someone you have lost, allowing you to continue talking to them and remembering the past. That is the world this film explores. The story focuses on Marjorie, an elderly woman dealing with dementia. She is given a lifelike holographic version of her late husband, Walter. The AI has been programmed with information and stories from Marjorie's past, allowing it to recreate memories and conversations that are deeply personal to her. At first, this technology seems comforting. Marjorie can once again interact with someone who was an important part of her life. But as the conversations continue, things become more complicated. The memories being discussed are not always completely reliable. Some details change, while others begin to mix with information provided by the people around Marjorie. This raises an important question: how much of our past is based on what actually happened, and how much is based on what we remember happening? Marjorie Prime is effective because it does not try to make its technology the main attraction. There are no huge futuristic battles or spectacular action scenes. Instead, the technology simply gives the characters a way to explore very human issues. The film is built around conversations, relationships, memories, and emotions. That approach will not necessarily work for viewers looking for fast-paced science fiction, but it gives the movie a quiet and thoughtful quality. Lois Smith, John Hamm, Geena Davis, and Tim Robbins all give strong performances, making the conversations feel natural and emotionally important. The result is a science fiction drama that stays with you because of the questions it raises about memory, aging, family, and the way we remember the people we love. Marjorie Prime is easily one of the more overlooked science fiction dramas on this list. Number 3, Frequencies. Frequencies is a British science fiction drama built around one very unusual idea. According to the movie, every person is born with a unique frequency. That frequency affects different parts of their life, including their intelligence, their luck, and even their position within society. Zack is born with an extremely low frequency. Because of this, things constantly seem to go wrong for him. Marie is completely different. She has one of the highest frequencies possible, which makes her exceptionally intelligent and successful. However, there is also a downside. Marie struggles with emotions and has difficulty forming normal connections with other people. Despite these differences, Zack develops strong feelings for Marie. The problem is that the world they live in seems to be designed to keep people like them apart. But Zack is not willing to simply accept that their relationship cannot work. One of the biggest reasons Frequencies stands out is its originality. The movie takes a strange concept and uses it to build an entire world around the idea of how much control we really have over our lives. The film depends heavily on dialogue and ideas rather than action. It also leaves several things unexplained, giving viewers room to decide for themselves what certain events and concepts actually mean. That approach will not be for everyone. Some viewers may find the minimalist style frustrating, especially when the movie refuses to give simple answers. But if you enjoy intelligent science fiction that makes you stop and think, Frequencies is worth checking out. Fans of movies such as Primer and Coherence may especially appreciate its approach. It is the kind of film that can become more interesting after you have finished watching it, because you may find yourself thinking about its ideas and trying to connect the different pieces. Number 2, Disclosure Day. The biggest questions humanity could ever face. A meteorologist who has also begun experiencing unusual events connected to the same discovery. And now, we come to the number 1 pick. Number 1, Good luck, have fun, and don't die.